Thank you, Council President. I know I've been a bit relentless on this topic in the past few weeks. So I'm hoping after yesterday's hearing, you'll understand why I need to come back to the topic of vaccinations. This administration has failed to meet the moment, and the consequence of failure is now becoming apparent for all of us to see. In less than 2 weeks, the suburbs of Philadelphia will open up for business, weddings, and sporting events. Their bars and restaurants will be fully opened. In short, life will be returning to a new normal in counties all around us, from Bucks to Chester, Montgomery to Delaware, Allegheny to Erie, Jersey Shore to the Poconos. The pandemic way of life will be fast disappearing in the rearview mirror, except for mask wearing. But not for us. When the governor announced his plan to reopen, this administration said, we'll talk later. So where does that leave us? Businesses limited to 2 employees per 1,000 square feet, restaurants limited to 50% capacity, weddings will be capped at 75 guests, and our stadiums will be at less than 50% occupancy. And why is this happening? Yesterday, we all had a chance to ask Health Commissioner Farley where we stood on vaccine distribution. I asked Dr. Farley 2 very basic questions, at least I thought they were pretty basic. How many vaccines are we sitting on that we don't have the capacity to distribute? And number 2, how many vaccines are our providers sitting on that they don't have the capacity to distribute? He could not answer either question. My concern is that we are currently sitting on hundreds of thousands of Pfizer vaccines that over the past 6 weeks we have not had the capacity to administer. Had we administered these doses when we received them, we would be on track to meet the President's July 4th deadline. I've spent the past 8 weeks trying to get straight answers from the health department. Yesterday, I was told not to worry about how many surplus COVID vaccines the city was sitting on, because it was like worrying about how many extra measles vaccines the city has on hand. People are not dying from measles. Grandparents are not skipping hugs from their grandchildren because of measles. And businesses across the city are not forced to close down because of measles. We're now told that our failure is the fault of our constituents, that they're vaccine hesitant, and it's a problem across the country. These are nothing but poor excuses, in my opinion, for the failure to plan. Our vaccine hesitancy rate is at 17%. 17%. 1 point higher than the state's vaccine hesitancy rate, and 2 points lower than the national average. So it's hard for me to believe it's because our constituents don't want the vaccine. Yes, there's vaccine hesitancy in this country, but it's mostly prevalent in red states that don't even believe in the vaccines. Yes, in blue states like New York and New Jersey, and in blue counties like our suburbs, the demand has plateaued. But the suburbs and neighboring states, they had a plan to scale up distribution as the vaccine supply scaled up. They were delivering their doses as they received them. And now, despite the plateau in demand, they're all on a path to meet President Biden's July 4th timeline. We started sitting on our doses weeks ago because we had no plan. Now it looks like we won't meet the President's timeline of July 4th. Yesterday, I called on the Department of Public Health to provide us with a written plan for spending the millions of dollars in new federal aid for vaccine distribution in Philadelphia. I was told they'd get it to me. I'm still waiting for the plan. But this plan should have been written months ago, ready to execute the minute federal dollars became available. I fear we're writing it as we speak, and as our council body asks these questions. This plan should include a pathway for scaling up distribution in convenient drive-through and walk-up sites all over the city of Philadelphia. It should include an advertising campaign around these sites. And everywhere you turn, you should see it. Something that's more than social media and Philadelphia Counts running, a phone bank. It's our sports and entertainment icons we can engage on TV and radio. If we ran a marketing campaign like a mayor's race in this town, people would see the ads. We would spend more money on media. We should spend more money on media than we collectively spent on our election campaigns. This is more important. That's what federal money should be used for at this point. On the 4th of July, soon, in the birthplace of liberty and freedom, let's not be the only city in America where freedom and liberty are still being held hostage to this pandemic. I hope this body continues to ask the questions we've been asking. But more importantly, I hope we get the answers our constituents deserve and that we quickly put a plan of action in place to meet President Biden's July 4th goal. On a separate note, I just want to wish my colleagues who are moms happy Mother's Day. And all the moms out there and all those who lost their mom this past year, like myself. And just remember the good memories of your mom and how great your mom helped you. And moms are the best. So thank you, Council President.